Learn how to use the length property inside a for loop to dynamically cycle through an entire collection of elements and update their styles simultaneously. Here's my boilerplate code, and we're going to be looking at an example through which we can demonstrate how you can loop through an HTML collection. So when you have an HTML collection full of elements, you can't just apply a style to the whole folder at once because it will get the browser confused. Instead, you can use a for loop because the for loop uses the length property to find out exactly how many items are inside, and then it rolls through them one by one, changing the color of each individual item in a split seconds. And that loop method is what we want to show in this example. So the first thing first is that I need a couple of elements that I need to work with. So I'll make paragraph, hello, word, hello, John, hello, Drake. So now I have these three elements, which are all paragraph tags in my code. Now, one more thing before I do start, I need to add a button. Button that will say try it, or let me use change color. So this button is going to have an ID of btn, which I already styled. So to make it look nice, and also to use an on-click property, which I will leave empty for now. If you go ahead and click this, it's not going to do anything. So now that I've done that, it's time for me to now move into the script tag. And number one thing is that I need to collect all the tags on the page. And how do I do that? Well, let me make a variable and call it my collection. And then I'll use document dot get elements by tag name. And I'll pass in the elements that I want to get by tag name. In my case, it's P elements. And now that I've done that, it is now time for me to look through the collection. And so how do I do this? I'm going to make use of for loop. So let I, the starting point, equals to 0. I less than my collection, I plus plus. And inside it, I can just say my collection, the index position of high dot style dot color equals to color red. So what my for loop is basically doing is that look through all these collections, all these P elements, that is the P tags, then apply a color style on them and change all of them to red on at once the button is clicked. Now that I have done this, I now need one more thing in order to be able to make this code to work. And what is that thing that I need? I need a function which once it is clicked, it will trigger my on-click property that is added to my button here. For example, I click change color. Now you can see that this is actually not doing anything in my code. So now that I have this, it's now time for me to add my function. And where do I want to add that function? Well, I want to add it here. Function by function. So I will just move this line inside it. by function, and also my for loop. I'll move everything inside my function. Now that I have done that, I can now add my function to the unclick property. So let's just try again and see if the issue has disappeared. No. Okay. Already collecting all tags here on the page. Then I'm trying to, I omitted something. So there's supposed to be a dotlet property here. And if you go ahead and click this should work. You can see that all the paragraphs on the page color is changed to color red, as you can see. So this is how we actually can make use of this method. And this is how you can actually make use of new paint through HTML collection in order to apply a global style to all the to a specific element, regardless of their numbers on your web page.